Welcome back, guys. So we just finished implementing this view, so let's continue with that. So main, that's something that's not really going to be a page. It's just like a little wrapper that we have that we're going to come back to. Index, we no longer, or we need it still. And okay, this tells us our actual pages. We don't need an app page anymore. So require authentication is something we're going to have to do from auth. We did my recipes, that's here, good, add recipe, we haven't done, sign up, login, single, okay, so home and add recipe are the ones left, so let's do home first. Rename that to view, grab one for index, for example, close all the extras. And okay, recipe list actually doesn't need anything. Looks like he's passing the recipes in here though. Recipe list. So it looks like for recipe list what you need is the actual recipes. Oh, and you're actually calling that. So what we'll do is we'll actually make home. Home actually doesn't look like it needs so like it doesn't actually look like it needs to be connected to the Redux store. This, because it doesn't look like it needs anything, the way we have it set up right now, which is actually kind of bad, is recipe list here. Actually, I don't like how I'm doing this at all. Am I just using recipe list at two places? That could be it. That's maybe why I'm doing it like this. And then recipe card. Okay, anyway, but this is a presentational element. And yet with this I'm doing a call to the API like this, which is bad because this should just be presentational. So I'm gonna fix that, and there's actually gonna be a lot of fixing gonna go on here because there's a lot of stuff that's messed up. So what we should be passing, these props we shouldn't be getting from like fetching data like this. How we should be getting it is when I'm in this home thing, I should fetch the data in home, and then in this component here, I pass it to the props. So recent recipes, that's something I actually want to get from here. So actually not that, so recipe action. I made this very confusing action names. I might come in and fix these soon. So recent, request recent recipes, request recent recipes. So we'll do, and then here we'll get recent recipes, I believe is what it was called. We can double check. We come here, looks like it's just called recipes, not recent recipes. So now we'll make this call here. So component will mount. This is where you should be fetching data, not the constructor also. So we'll go be fetching data here, and then we'll request recent recipes. And again, we're not validating, that's okay. What's not liking? Oh yeah, so this should go here. Recipe list, we'll fix this. It's eventually gonna, actually I guess I could fix this now. We're gonna eventually put recipe list in the components. So it's gonna be up one folder, up another folder, and we're gonna put it here. So slash components. And now recipe list is gonna be a export default. It's gonna be a pure function because it does not need to be a constructor. All it needs is this basic structure here. And now there's no this function, or there's no this in a pure function like this. You actually pass the props in to that right there. So I'll just do that's how you grab it. I can get the recipes from the props, and then right here I can do that. Okay, convert that into a pure function. Now we don't need that here. Card, and awesome. That looks good. And we're not validating, which is fine. We'll do that later. And I'm going to turn, okay, this is a pure function, so that's good. Home is good now, so add recipe is what we'll do next. Add recipe. Rename this to view. I think this one will be like maybe this one. Okay, so add recipe has a bunch of stuff here. Should be like a submit. That's what we call this. So let's wrap that. Description. Ingredients. Image URL. Add recipe. So we'll do that from here, for example. And if we come to the actions, it will be, I actually don't know what our create one is. Let's go to our Saga. So we listen for add recipe requested. When add recipe requested, we add the recipe. Add recipe requested. So okay, so we didn't do that one, so we can just create another one. Request add recipe. Request. Oh, actually, I don't even see that. I didn't add that one, did I? I need to add recipe requested. Oh, just kidding. I see it right here. Add recipe requested. Add recipe requested. There we go. So now I call it request add recipe. Request add recipe in the submit function. So we need to add that there. We don't need anything from the state, it looks like. And I think that's all it needed for this. So this guy's good. Follower is not, it's fine. Okie dokie, so the rest of these app we don't actually need anymore. Auth we'll work on at a later time. Index is good. The rest of these can come up here. Oops. These are going to be components. SP card. Navbar. Main. Auth. Okay, so now we have our pages. We have the index. We have the index here. We have the store here. We have our components here. So this is how everything should be laid out. And I'm sure there's lots of errors actually in this now because changing names, we just did a huge refactor. So I think the best thing to do is, I actually haven't run the app, is we have everything basically in the right organizational place now, is to just like start running the app and just do a huge debug session where I get each one incrementally working and I step through and get all this stuff working and go through each error. So I think that's it for this video. And the next video what we'll do is we'll just go through, I'll just run the server and just go through each error, fixing each one, going through it rather than trying to figure out going through just like this. I think it'll be easier that way from this point on. So I'll see you guys in the next video.